Okay, I wanted to make a little video on the oil pump fitted to a Kawasaki MC1 engine. Now this engine is fitted to lots of different motorcycles in Kawasaki's range, so this video would also be appropriate to those. Right, the oil pump. The oil pump is driven from this idle gear. That idle gear itself is driven by the back end of the gear, which is poking through this bearing, which is driven by the clutch basket. The oil pump has a plastic gear which is driven by the idle gear, and it spins in an anti-clockwise direction. This little notch here in the shaft engages with the back of the oil pump. You can see the back of the oil pump there. And so that gear fits like that. The oil comes out here. Now I was having a bit of trouble bleeding the oil pump, and it was because of an installation error where I had one of the banjo unions in the wrong position. So I've worked all that out, but what I did to help me was to make this setup. So I had a drill on the back of this. Actually took the gear off that shaft. It's easy to do. Voila. Don't lose that keyway. I had a drill on the back of this turning in the clockwise direction, and that in turn drove the pump. Now the problem I had was that there was no oil coming through this tube, and the reason for that was that this banjo union is a one-way check valve. Now I had this union in the wrong spot. I had it fitted here, so no oil was getting past. This union here, this banjo bolt here, is bidirectional, and this one here, I've got no idea, but I'm assuming it's unidirectional with a check valve because it's the same part as this one. Right now they're in the right position. So when I had the pump running, I had the this cam here rotated around to the position where it's what's called the full throttle position to give the pump maximum output, because the pump's got a variable output depending on throttle position. When you set up this pump, the throttle cable's adjusted here to align that notch on the cam and that line there. That's the idle position. It's the position the cam should be in during engine idle. Now that's the only adjustment you make on this. I have found out that some of these oil pumps, different models, have a bleed screw here. This one doesn't. So whether it's an old one or not, I'm not sure. There is an output performance test which Kawasaki have, and they will tell you to put some premix in the fuel, obviously, disconnect this end and run the engine at 2000 RPM for 3 minutes, and you should get 2.6 to 3 mil of oil out of this tube, and that gives you verification that the oil pump is running at the correct rate. The pump, well, this engine that I'm working on has been laying in a farm barnyard for 40 years, and it was in terrible condition, and there was oil pissing out everything. So I put a a seal kit through this. It's not actually a seal kit, I just bought the seals for it. And that's not hard to do. There's about 3 different seals, I forget now, 3 or 4. But anyone can do it, it's pretty easy. Alright, so I'll just show you bits from the manual. Here's the oil performance test, you can pause that. And about a little thing here about bleeding the pump with the engine fitted to the motorcycle. So there you go. I hope that helps. It's one of those things where if you've done it once, it's easy. If you've never done it before, you can come undone. And the consequences of not getting this right are catastrophic for the engine. So you don't want to run the engine without any oil coming out of this pump. Now I have heard that if you want to disconnect the oil system and run premix, you need to take this gear out because it can get damaged, because you're no longer running oil through this thing and it can seize up. So just bear in mind, if you're gonna run premix and disconnect this hose, blank it off, you also need to remove this gear. Alright, that helps. Bye.